ऐसा एक शब्द का है means from where to start those things. The stories of whole life, and this meeting is of for a short while. So that is the issue. But anyway, since panelists are at the quite high level of panelists, and I am sure they will be able to give ocean in a ball. Nothing to worry. But they will leave, I'm sure, all of us so much motivated that we will have to go further into the detail. And that is the crux of any good scholar or any good professional. But when we come to Bihar, I am a Bihari. So, I have worked all around the country, and the comments has been Bihari. Right from the university days, I have been listening to that comment Bihari, and a kind of abuse. When you want to say something abuse to anyone, arey Bihari. But at the same time, be the Bihari, ek Bihari, sau pe bhari. So there exists a contradiction. And when there is a talk of anything, again I remember a couplet. जिक्र जब हुआ कयामत का बात पहुंची तेरी जवानी तक. Whenever Bihar is talked about, it comes to the crux, means the prime time of Bihar, which is now, and this is the right time to discuss. As a media person, as a educationist, I have been talking a lot about, hearing a lot about, reading a lot about. And there is quite contradiction in the Bihar society itself. What to talk? In society, any government is a reflection of its society. So sometimes I blame myself for everything. That whatever is happening, good or bad, is because of me. Because I live in a democratic society. Wherever there is possibility of change, I don't raise my hand. I don't come forward. I don't take initiative. So there are many contradictions which exist in Bihar. Right from the ancient time, there is a glorious Bihar. Medieval time, there have been both ends, both the glorious and inglorious end. And presently also we have the same thing. In spite of the best schemes that government has, both the central government and the state government, for women upliftment, for women empowerment, for minorities upliftment and economic empowerment, it has not succeeded to the extent to which we expect. We the educated person, we the media person, we the professionals. Why? Where is the lacuna? So these are some of the key issues, and here are the panelists who are really working into the field. They are from the ground level, they are bringing all these issues and researching on it, talking about it, thinking about it. So now I request Professor Diwakar Sahab, one of my very near and dear colleague, I will call him colleague because we are from the same profession, to set the tone, because he has worked a lot in Bihar and other states also, but primarily in Bihar, and he has been looking into all-round affairs, and I have been talking to him on various issues that really he feels about it, not only feels, but communicates. And here is time for you, good time for you, sir, to set the trend.
Thank you, Iskar Sahab, for good words. Distinguished galaxy of experts and audience. I think we all are participants learners, and we want to learn from each other. Welcome to Bihar, once known as the basin of semi-feudalism. Still with the strong remnants. The issues of social justice, when we are talking of, we have to look into the social injustices. That means, my supposition is that the social injustices are structurally rooted. It is systemic in nature. So unless you address the systemic corrective measures, social justice issue remains half discussed, half focused. And when we talk of the structural issues, I began with the bastion of the semi-feudalism structure. That means the land question remains the first. Bihar had a credit of initiating abolition of Zamindari Act, one of the leading states, but unfortunately it lost its esteem in between. Otherwise, fragmentation and subdivision of land through population attrition took place, market intervention came in, but still the concentration of land with a particular group and class of the society remains. And therefore, if you don't handle the land question, it will be difficult to handle the justice question. And that had not been handled. That is first. Second is that if you look at the exploitative structure and if you don't handle in the holistic manner, piecemeal package and programs does not help you much. It takes you a little, you have a little relief of it, a sense of relief that you are getting, but it doesn't help you to emancipate so far gender question is concerned. And if you take the Bihar experiment of social justice, I view it in the two frame. One is the radical change. Our moderator and the organizer, when they said that what government has taken, let me put first that it's not government, what society has done first through social movement. They have done a lot. And well documented, there is no time to deal with learning field of Bihar, ontology, most of the communist movement literatures of the different states. I'm not going into the details of it. That gives you the initiation of the premises through which the structural questions have been addressed. The second is by the government. Yes. The Congress government almost remained in welfare, confined to welfare programs initiated by the centers, welfare to development and empowerment. In Bihar, really, if you look at the structural issues, it began with known land issues, that is from Karpuri Thakur regime, when education was taken first. Free education up to matriculation, primary school into every village. In cabinet, the presentation of OBCs and many other such issues through which he tried to make it more cohesive for the social justice. But still he did not touch neither the land issues nor Bataidari tenancy or neither the reforms questions. The next regime much discussed about is the Lalu Prasad Yadav regime, in which of course the poor got voice. Hello. And they had weakened the feudal judges. But at the same time, again, if you look at some of the points, it's very good. Unpaid work, the bargaining strength has gone up, the assertion of the poor in the bureaucracy that has taken place. But if you take the question of institutional transformation, no. That remains still. Of course, two examples are really very good, and for journalists it is a good. Ran Bashera in urban area for the working people, that is really good. And Charvaha Vidyalaya, which experiment did not took up much, but it was really very good experiment. It could have been done very good if it was discussed all around the world, but it did not happen in Bihar. The major issue of the Lalu Prasad was that he tried to empower the political workers and the people to move forwards, to talk with the bureaucracy and ruling party and class, access to the government. So the confidence building measure was with Lalu Prasad. Next stage comes of the Nitish Kumar. It sounds really very good with the number of high-sounding programs and packages. But if you look into the contents and reality to come into, then I find remarkable difference between the Lalu Prasad Yadav and Nitish Kumar. Lalu Prasad Yadav depended on political workers, and through political workers he controlled the bureaucracy and then ruling structure. But in Nitish Kumar regime, it is bureaucracy through which he goes to the people and then he works on it. Meaning thereby, in absence of mass political workers with them, they depended on bureaucracy and then set up programs. Number of issues I am not going to count you here, but of course the prohibition or the Meena Manch or reservation 50% to Panchayati Raj institution or many other Cycle Poshak Yojana, then of course for minorities also, the rehabilitation program for schools and residential hostels, all that. But when you come to the implementation, AIMS Institute has done many studies on education, in Cycle Poshak Yojana and many other schemes. It had positive impacts, of course. But it did not achieve the targets. It did not get implemented thoroughly despite having provisions. So that remained a question that unless you empower the people at the ground, it is not possible. And I can give you another example of, say, when the central agencies that give you the MNREGA, which is very holistic program for others. But in Bihar, you remember we have 1.7 crore job card holders. But 0.1% got 100 days work. 0.1%. And for women, it is 4.67 days per job card. So that is the reality, even which is coming from the center. If you look into that details, I only see that the difference between the government, they have some kind of political need to address the constituency and therefore many programs, but when it comes to the implementation, it does not go deep to the ground. Rather, it remained in guessing, and therefore social justice question still remains in the realm of social pressure. Unless you have social movement and social pressure, the government is not going to bend down on those issues. Initial remark is this. Later, if you will allow me, I will be speaking. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Diwakar. We will want you to interject with other panelists also. छोटा सा मैं ट्रांसलेशन कर रही हूँ जो बात रखी दिवाकर साहब ने. उन्होंने कहा कि बिहार का जो इतिहास है वो सामाजिक अन्याय से उसकी एक छवि थी शुरुआत में. इतना सामाजिक न्याय का दृष्टिकोण वक्त के साथ आया है और उन्होंने उसका एक इतिहास दिया. उन्होंने कहा सबसे बड़ी चुनौती यहाँ पर अभी भी ज़मीन के बंटवारे को लेकर है. ज़मीन अभी भी जो ज़्यादा समृद्ध जाति के लोग हैं उनके हाथों में है, इसलिए ताकत भी उन्हीं के हाथ में है. और जितनी भी नीतियाँ आई हैं अलग अलग सरकारों की तरफ से, उसने किसी छोटे छोटे हिस्से में इन सब मुद्दों को एड्रेस करने की कोशिश की है, लेकिन पूरे तंत्र में बदलाव की तरफ उनका रुझान नहीं रहा है. और इम्प्लीमेंटेशन एक बहुत बड़ा अभी भी एक चुनौती है. और जब तक हर स्तर पर बदलाव नहीं आता है, खासतौर पर जेंडर की नज़र से अगर आप देखें तो औरतों के जीवन में बदलाव नहीं आता है. उन्होंने शुरुआत में कहा, उन्होंने ये भी कहा कि समाज का भी जो एक इंटरवेंशन है उसको हमें ध्यान में रखना चाहिए कि जो समाज में कई मूवमेंट्स आए जिन्होंने सब बदलाव की ओर काम करने की कोशिश की, और सरकार की पहल के साथ साथ हमें उसका भी ध्यान रखना चाहिए, वो बहुत महत्वपूर्ण रहा है. उन्होंने कहा कि शुरुआत में मुफ्त शिक्षा या हर गांव में एक प्राइमरी स्कूल, इस तरह की शुरुआत हुई थी. कैबिनेट में अन्य पिछड़ी जातियों का आरक्षण, इससे शुरुआत हुई थी, लेकिन तब भी ज़मीन के मुद्दे पर काम नहीं हुआ. फिर लालू प्रसाद यादव के वक्त में गरीब लोगों को एक आवाज़ देने की उनकी मुहिम थी. कोशिश उन्होंने की कि कई जातियों को ऊपर आने का मौका मिले, अपवर्ड मोबिलिटी हो, और उनका सारा काम जो ज़मीन पर काम करने वाले राजनीति में जुड़े लोग थे, पॉलिटिकल वर्कर्स थे, उनके ज़रिए था। उससे काफ़ी अलग रहा नीतीश कुमार का वक्त, जिन्होंने जो ब्यूरोक्रेसी है, जो लाल फीताशाही है, जो चलाते हैं सरकार के काम को, उनके ज़रिए अपनी नीतियों को उन्होंने इम्प्लीमेंट करने की, कुछ अंग्रेजी के शब्द आ रहे हैं, इम्प्लीमेंट करने की कोशिश की, और इसीलिए दोनों का थ्रस्ट और तरीका अलग था। और उसके कुछ अच्छे उदाहरण हैं, जैसे बाइसिकल योजना है, या रिजर्वेशन है, या उन्होंने कहा माइनॉरिटीज़ के लिए हॉस्टल्स की सुविधाएं, इस तरह की चीज़ें हुई, लेकिन सब छोटे हिस्सों में, और कोई भी सरकार ज़मीनी स्तर पर और हर स्तर पर बदलाव नहीं ला पाई। अपनी जो पॉलिटिकल उनके जो समर्थक थे, उनके लिए उन्होंने काम किया। यहाँ पर उन्होंने अपनी बात को रखा है, और मैं वैसे तो हम लाइन से नहीं जाना चाहते, पर फिर भी सुधा जी से कहूँगी कि वो अपनी बात रखें, क्योंकि जहाँ बात सामाजिक न्याय की हो रही है, और वहाँ पे इन स्कीम्स का जिक्र हुआ, साइकिल योजना का जिक्र हुआ, और शराबबंदी का भी जिक्र हुआ, क्योंकि सुधा जी का काम उन समुदायों के साथ बहुत है जहाँ